Wow. Hi, Han.
Hi, Kimberly.
How are you? Look at us straight on.
I mean, this is crazy.
I know. For our visual listeners, I was going to say visual viewers, but that sounds repetitive. You may notice a bit of a alternate format going on. Han and I are going to be remote podcasting for the foreseeable future, so you can get used to our faces straight on, which is really great news for me considering I fucking hate my profile and I was so tired of watching all of our videos with me like
I know, like, how many chins can I really have this episode? We'll try.
yeah, my chins, my pit stains. I've been actually reflecting on who in the world likes their side profile, and if you are one of those people, I'm so interested to hear from you because I have never met someone who really likes their side profile. Also, is side profile repetitive? Can you just say profile?
I think you could say profile, but I feel like a lot of people these days say side profile.
Yeah. So if you're one of those people who likes their profile and you haven't had a nose job, by the way, because I think that's a big part of it.
And you're not constantly on Facetune.
Yeah, don't hate. Well, hang on.
Oh,
One thing hasn't changed, and that's this.
mine squirted a bit.
I didn't hear yours.
Oh, I didn't really hear yours either.
Oh,
Hopefully,
it was a
hopefully
silent offender. You want to know probably why? Because we're recording this on Zoom and I have like turn off background noise.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah,
So
hopefully
sorry
we'll
for all
figure it
of our
out.
ASMR fans out there, but you just missed our kelp cracking today. I have a story from this week that I want to just kick things off with because it was one of those moments in my life where it was a comedy of errors and
Please
I just
share
need
with
to
the
share with
class.
the class. Woo! So on a couple days ago, I'm getting ready for a date and it was already a pretty hectic day. Work was busy, like my whole schedule of the day got shifted back more than I would like. And I'm rushing to get ready. So, you know how people say like nothing good happens after like midnight or 2 a.m. or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh
I
no.
believe that nothing good happens when you're in a rush.
Oh God,
So,
no.
yeah, I'm rushing to get ready for this date, and rushing to get ready for anything is my least favorite part of life. I like my like 4 hour get readies. Like I don't want to rush. I just hate that feeling. So I'm getting ready and I have like 30 minutes to do a full beat on my face, blow dry my hair, and like get out the door. So I'm like, well, I deserve a glass of wine to get through this. Well, I'm not doing dry January for our listeners at
No.
home. Um, so I go to pour my glass of wine and I'm like, you know what? I'm a stemmed wine glass girl. Like I prefer them. It makes me feel classier. So I'm like, I'm gonna kick off tonight with good vibes and use a stemmed wine glass. So I'm in my bathroom. The glass is sitting to the left of my sink, which is then the end of my vanity and my toilet. I'm
Hmm.
doing my hair. I guess I'm already clumsy as it is. I can barely walk without falling, but I'm standing in my bathroom. Somehow the brush leaves my hand, flies into my wine glass, which then sends the wine glass crashing into my toilet, shatters everywhere. It's 2 days later. I'm still cleaning red wine up off the wall. It won't come off. I keep finding splatters on places that like you would just never really assume it would have gotten to. It's everywhere. So now I'm like, well, I have to clean this up or else it's going to last all night. And I have a cat. So I'm like, there can't be shattered glass all over the bathroom. So I'm panicking to clean it up. I get all of the glass up, which is the most important part. My walls look ridiculous, but I'm like, whatever. I'm already so late. Like, I have to just deal with this tomorrow. So I'm going to get dressed. I already knew what I was going to wear because I got this new shirt last week that I really liked. I knew that the arms were like a little tight. So I needed to like slowly put them on. I didn't slowly put them on. And in the process, one of them starts to rip like in the underarm seam. And I'm standing there looking in the mirror and I'm like, can she get away with it for the night? And as I'm just like looking at myself from different angles and noticing how obvious the rip is, I'm like, no, she can't. So
Oh
then I
my
have to
God.
panic find another shirt, which, like, for all of our girlies out there listening, when you're already in a rush, you already feel like shit, you've had a bad day. Like, the chance of me last minute finding another outfit that I feel good in is slim to none. So I had to panic find another shirt and run out the door. And it was just one of those like strings of events where I was like, one more thing and I'm going to have a mental B. Like it just wasn't good.
It really was like anything that can go wrong would go wrong for you getting
Mhm.
ready. That
Yeah.
is crazy. It's almost like when you got mustard everywhere and then you were still cleaning up mustard weeks later.
Speaking of,
Did you
yesterday,
no way.
yesterday, I'm so I've been really struggling to find ski pants that fit my body type because I
Yeah.
have a bigger hip and butt area and then a smaller waist. So I live by the Abercrombie Curve Love line, but they don't really make shit like that for ski clothes.
They do not.
Not
Abercrombie.
yet. Not
Abercrombie,
yet.
please.
I know. So I've been shopping like nonstop trying to find ski pants that fit me. And I had a delivery come in yesterday from the brand Half Days. And I ordered two different sizes and I was trying them on. And my try test always includes like a full lay down to get up because I'm like, if I fall, I need to know that I can like get up with some type of agility so I'm not just like frozen in place on the mountain.
I don't want to rip my pants open like the second I try and stand up.
Right. So I am laying fully flat on the ground by where we keep these bar stools that I'm currently sitting in normally. And as I'm getting up, I look at the back of the bar stool and I'm just like, this shit is covered in mustard.
Ah!
There were mustard splatters everywhere that I normally wouldn't notice because it's at like, I guess, torso level. And my face is never really down there in that area of
Mm-hmm.
my apartment or anywhere. And I just started like chipping it off with my finger. And I was like, how the fuck have I gotten mustard literally all over this part of my apartment?
Dude, and Holly probably saw it and was like, my mom's fucking slacking.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed to do that, but it's still on our office door. It's still on parts of the ceiling and mustard stains. Like it's leaving bright yellow stains even when you chip off like the actual food residue.
Yeah.
The color on our white walls is still, it's just, yeah, I'm a mess. So I need to order some like wall cleaner
Just fucking bleach
because,
your apartment. Like,
yeah,
just
yeah,
repaint it
we're
at
getting
this
there. I
point.
know. And I'm embarrassed to reach out to our maintenance people and be like, hey, do you have touch up paint? Because my bathroom looks like a massacre and my kitchen looks like a McDonald's. So
You'd be great at cleaning up blood because you've had to deal with mustard and red wine so many times.
I know that feels like the next logical step. Just American Psycho up here.
Oh my God.
Um, Okay, I think the next thing that we should get into in terms of it being the new year season is talking about ins and outs.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure you have a list.
I do, and I want to share. I love a good in and out list. I think they're so funny. My favorite, and I don't know if he made one this year, but I have also talked in the past, I think on this podcast about my passion for his Instagram. Flume,
Mm-hmm.
a wonderful social media presence. He's so funny, but he makes really good ins and outs list every year.
Amazing.
And they always inspire me to try to make mine funnier. So I have mine up and I'm happy to start, or if you want to start, you can
You
too.
can start. This is your passion.
It is my passion. My passion project is my 2024 ins and outs list. Okay, so mine are all kind of written in parallel structure. Our friend inspired me to do this because it made it more clear, like what was in place of something being out.
Mm.
So to begin, we have in is trips to your friends' college towns, and out is bachelor and bachelorette parties. Like,
For sure.
I want to go to a Penn State football game. I want to go see Brown. I want to go to all the places that our friends went to school and see them. And I want to bring you guys to Chapel Hill. I don't want to go on another bachelorette party ever. I think
No.
social media has completely blown up expectations for what these parties are and were. Like it used to be the fucking night before your wedding, go out, take a couple tequila shots, wake up and get married. I'm
Yep.
not going to Mexico for you.
No, I'm not
Not
spending
shelling
like
out. Yeah.
thousands.
thousands. And then you go and they're like, oh, we have to pay for the bride. I'm like, no, my gift to the bride is me going, not me going and also paying for you to go to your own party that was your own fucking idea. Like,
Correct.
do you invite people to your birthday party and then I mean, I guess sometimes they pay for your birthday dinner, but like if you're throwing a part, I don't know. I
It's like all
them.
like a price range. Like a dinner is probably gonna be like $100 a head. And so like you like at most, if you're going to like
Yeah.
somewhere fancy or something in a big city. So you splitting that with however many people normally makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that's affordable for whoever's going to that dinner in the first place. If
Yeah.
I'm spending thousands to go to your fucking, beach week, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Beach.
I'm like, we don't need to relive our college days just before you
Yeah.
get married. Like, I,
I also feel like it takes the focus off of like the importance of spending time together and places it on like our matching outfits and what I'm going to post on Instagram afterward. And it just
Mhm.
feels like so showy to me. And I've gone on bachelorette parties and I've never had a bad time. Like I've never looked on back on it and been like, oh, I really regret going. Like obviously I always have fun and I love my friends who have hosted them, but I'm just like over it at this point. I've gone to so many and I've shelled out so much cash for it. I finally have 0 trips this year and I'm so excited about it. So
Yeah, and
out.
guaranteed your bestie Bryn Lee or whoever the fuck is getting married is not an influencer anyway. So
Not
why
even
are we curating
yeah.
social for like the
Yeah.
50 guys in the hometown that are gonna like her post anyway?
I
Or
don't know,
yours?
man.
I don't know.
Um,
It's just, yeah, I'm with
why
you.
do I feel like this episode is literally only going to be ins and outs and then we're going to have to
That's
save
what it
all
is.
our other plans
It's fine.
later.
We'll roll with it.
My other in is nice watches and out is Apple watches. Specifically Apple watches when you're dressed up.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'm still wearing my Apple Watch, but I'm in my like work from home slum clothes right now, so it's
for
fine.
sure.
But nice watches when you're dressed up. I'm really excited to start that era of my life and start like investing in actual like real time pieces instead of just looking like a spy kid. In panic ordering dirty martinis until I like them. Out espresso martinis.
Oh, I'm gonna keep drinking espresso martinis because I love olives, but I'm not a dirty martini girl.
Neither am I. But we're gonna try to get there. I panic ordered one in December and got through it and didn't hate it.
Okay.
So I feel like I could get there. The espresso martinis, I'm just like tired of them. I never really
I
feel that
like
great, and
making them. I like
I
making them a
agree.
lot more than going out and ordering them because when you
Like,
order them, it's a crapshoot.
and they're like $25.
Yeah,
That one we made in December hand before we went to Adam and Melissa's Christmas party with like the peppermint in it, that was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. No, I'm all about making your own espresso
Yeah.
martinis.
And making your DIY cocktails. We've been making our own old fashions and it's been amazing. Um, so yeah, homemade cocktails in.
Perfect.
Another in is natural hair color. I feel like this is really me projecting
I've been
on,
growing mine out. How did
oh yeah, girl.
my influenced you?
Um, projecting my like dark hair color onto other people. It's really more for like people with my hair color. I think
Yeah,
when you have hair like this dark, sometimes highlights just you end up looking like Cassidy Pope from like 2014, where it's just like chunky.
yeah. You're
I don't
getting close to
know.
the skunk highlight era of like Kelly
Yeah.
Clarkson 2002 or
I'm
whatever.
just really vibing with natural hair lately and like the blonde is coming back. I know all my blonde girlies out there have high maintenance like highlights and that's fine, do you? But I'm vibing with my natural hair right now.
This uh,
Out Dyson Air Wraps.
my natural hair is the
I
blonde,
know
so I'm
it's
all for
so
that.
dark.
Dyson Airwraps, I've never really understood.
They're so expensive.
And they don't, I think it's nice for like the blowout effect, but it's like if you wanted a curl, you still have to
Yeah.
like curl your fucking hair.
To be fair, I've never used one, but I
Every time I see people use it, I'm like, that's not gonna hold all day. It
and
looks
then
great now, but
yeah, and it like tailored my TikTok now, so I'm on anti Dyson Air Wrap TikTok, and
Mhm.
all I see are people being like, "It doesn't hold," and I'm like, "Okay, that's all I needed." Um, in subtweets, bring it
Yes.
back. that was such a fun era.
Passive
Yeah,
aggressiveness.
just like, let's bring it back. And out is Be Real, which I actually might be taking back
Oh, really?
because I got back into religiously using it and I'm like, it's kind of funny again.
Yeah, I deleted it off my phone at like the beginning of December for storage, in
Mhm.
like the heat of a night out or something because I had to offload all my pictures, but I haven't put it back on and I haven't missed it.
Oh, no, yeah. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Like yesterday, it went off and I just looked so awful. I still posted it because I'm, hashtag real.
So real.
But I love, obviously, it's not like a niche interest. I love skincare. And I have realized recently that my skin is a lot more dry than I'd like to admit. So in the winter, I need to change my routine because I use a lot of acids on my face like every day and it's
Mhm.
just harsh. So you can't tell because I have makeup on right now, but my eye sockets are chemical burned. And
You
like,
did that not long ago too, didn't you?
yeah, yeah. I like
Yeah.
spray burning my skin off, which isn't great. So I like post this B roll yesterday, and my eye sockets are just like red and flaky, and I'm like, this isn't it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm like halfway through my not halfway through my list, but I've done a few. Do you want to get into yours?
Sure. Sure. So I actually rebranded my ins and outs as more in 2024 and bore in 2024.
I'm
So it's not
obsessed.
necessarily out, it's just a little
You're
overdone and
like,
dry.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel about espresso martinis. Like, will I go a whole calendar year without absolutely like housing one at 4 in the morning somewhere that I shouldn't be? No. But do I want it to be like my preferred cocktail? Also no.
Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost, my more in 2024, DIY. We're doing more DIY this year.
Yes, we crafted on Tuesday. I had the time of my life.
Yeah, arts and crafts. We are figuring out how to, maybe make a little jewelry thing. We are
Yeah.
getting
Fuck yeah,
into doing
jewelry.
our own cocktails. We are, going to bedazzle our own purses instead of going on fucking Shein or whatever and buying one
Yeah.
for $5. But, just figuring out how we can use what we have and be
Love.
realistic.
Yeah.
So we're DIYing, girls.
Yes.
I mean, maybe if there's a leak, call a plumber, but other than that, like,
I have a
don't flood your
follow-up question
apartment.
to that. Does that mean that Pinterest is also in?
If it helps you get inspired, then sure. I
Pinterest
feel
is
like,
never out for me, but
yeah, I mean, if Pinterest helps you like organize your stuff clearly and find and bookmark things easier, then like go for it. To me, Pinterest is just an organization tool.
yeah, it really is. I'm
It's
obsessed
not
with
social media. It's just like a
No.
planner.
Yeah, and literally, it's like a
Yeah.
Tumblr for, like, prettier things and less porn.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
So we're getting into DIY this year, which I'm really excited because I, in going through a lot of my closet and items at the end of the year here, there are
Mhm.
some things that don't fit me anymore because I lost some weight last year.
Slay,
Um,
girl.
but now I'm like, oh, this shirt that's too big, I can, fashion it into some cute like crop top or something, or like,
Yeah,
like taking a dress and making a skirt out of it. So like just figuring out
love
how to
that.
do things. I mean, DIY at your level, obviously, but I'm calling more DIY this year.
Love.
I also think that the cheese trap emoji is in for 2024. I want more traps. I want more luring.
So I've been really studying the way that you guys use it
Hmm.
because you're very good at deploying that emoji, and I haven't really, like, locked in my voice with it yet.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those slangy, trendy things that takes a while for me to catch on to. Like, it took a really long time for me to understand how to use cap and like no cap and normal sentences. Similarly, bet, like, there are just things that I am like, I'm not sure I'm like online enough to use this correctly and sound like I know what I'm doing. So I'm
Yeah. I
really
mean,
like
some of that stuff is
months
like fun to
behind.
do facetiously too, but
Yeah.
the cheese trap I feel like is great with like certain sarcastic comments, or like if you're
Yeah.
texting someone and you're trying to like low key Pavlov them.
Yeah. Our friend the
It's
other
great.
day texted our group chat and she goes, it's the day after my birthday, and then new text goes because everyone knows when that is, and then sent the cheese strap emoji, and I was like, see, it was so good. It was so funny.
Yeah. So more of those unhinged emojis, the cheese trap for sure. Um, I also feel like the phrase you don't see that a lot these days.
Okay, in
Um,
more.
somebody is wearing in more, and I feel like
Okay.
it's like somebody's wearing like camo and an orange beanie. You're like, and you don't see that a lot these days. You can use it facetiously,
I
but I
was gonna
also
say
think
because
it's
I feel
fun
like
to
we
be
do be
like,
seeing that.
yeah, but I also think it's something to be like, I saw a meme where it was like, I was sitting in a restaurant eating soup by a window, and these girls walked by and said, "Oh my God, he's eating soup. You don't see that a lot these days."
Okay, I
Like
love that.
just
I
like
can get
really
behind that.
random or really
Yeah,
facetious. It's like, oh my God, that guy's sweeping his front steps. You don't see that a lot these
that a lot.
days. Like something very mundane, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
So for some of my bores, um, I think store-bought costumes are out. That's in line with DIY kind of.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know, I'm
like
tired
a
of
sexy nurse.
Yeah, I'm tired Halloween, and then like if you have theme parties or like whatever you want something for
Hmm.
like a rave, I don't know where else people wear costumes, but like those I'd like again, you probably at this point in your life have enough things to kind of figure something out,
Yeah,
or you have somebody who does have something that you need, and it's just being
yeah.
a little bit more resourceful.
Yeah, I love that.
Um, I also think that Grage is out.
Okay. Like the color of your walls.
Everything that I'm sitting in right now. Yeah.
That okay, I agree with you because I feel like that is on par with the clean girl aesthetic. Like, have you seen those girlies on TikTok who only dress in that color and their whole rooms are that color? And
50 Shades of Grage.
they have this Stanley Cup
God.
and like the little trinket dish that's shaped like a cloud and like the Marc Jacobs tote bag and cream. And I'm like, have you ever considered?
It's boring designer.
Yeah, I just, I get the like minimalism side to that. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, it's so drab sometimes. I'm like, I love all the color in my apartment.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm with that. Gray's is
Yeah.
out.
I love color. I love, I understand the point of neutrals. It's great
Yeah.
to have for staples and classic things, love, but sometimes it's just too much.
I have one
Um,
on my in list that kind of goes hand in hand with that.
please.
Heavy eye makeup
Oh, yes.
is back. And I just want to say I fucking called this before all the girlies did because I literally made this. I don't know if my camera's going to pick up on it on January 1st
Mm-hmm.
at 7 p.m. And now all I'm seeing on TikTok is that clean girl aesthetic is out and mob boss wife aesthetic is in. And like I think Saltburn had a lot to do with this because
Yeah.
with Veronica, the sister in it, wears is that her name?
Yeah.
She wears like really smudgy eye makeup. And now everyone is bringing back the like skins, like Effie aesthetic. And I'm like, so I was right. And you guys
Well,
are a week late.
it was it was going to happen because if we think about what's been coming back as we just kind of went through like the 90s grunge resurgence,
Totally. Yeah.
which and then Saltburn takes place in like the early mid 2000s, so
Yeah.
like 2004, 2006, 2007,
Yeah.
which we all know the tight lining, the black eyeliner, the Jenny Humphrey, like
Yeah.
that's and so
Dad, I don't want your
unfortunately
waffles, Dad. Dad, I want to go to
Tom,
fashion school.
but like, unfortunately, that means that the 2010s are around the corner. The
It's okay. We'll get through
2010s.
it. We'll get through it. Yeah. I mean, also kind of on par with that, I have in is wearing Vans.
Oh yeah, Vans are
I
in.
Vans are in, Vans are back. And I think living in Vans is out, like the actual act of living in a car.
Oh my
I think it
God.
serves some people really well. And I guess this is not, I don't really care if you live in a van. I'm just tired of seeing content about it.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
my whole
living
thing.
I think I agree with you because I don't think it should be a trend. I think it should
Yeah,
be like this literally fits my
it's my
how I
lifestyle.
am. Like I
Yeah,
like to go climbing. I like to go
I'm a
surf. Like I'm
nomad. Yeah.
hiking. I'm always out. I'm always traveling. I don't like being tied down. Like that's
I
for
also think part of
sure.
the funny part of it to me is that so many of these people that I see are like, we just want to like minimalize our lives. And then they spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars renovating this van and making it as bougie as possible. And I'm like, what?
It is clean
Okay.
girl aesthetic meets the rugged van life. And
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
like the Venn diagram section that I'm sick of.
Yeah. I also feel really bad for the people who have pets and do it.
Yeah,
Like, I
it
get
depends.
you are stopping frequently and like letting your dog run, but it just, I don't know. I'm like, I've seen this one girl who has like a giant lab in a van. And I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no for your dog to go when you're, yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot for me.
Yeah, I mean, some animals thrive on that, and some
Yeah.
animals, it's not going to be for them. So,
Yeah.
thoughts and prayers with those animals.
Yeah. I'm sure they're fine.
Um,
So hang on. I have another one that like it's fitting in with all of these trends.
Perfect.
And is for me, dubstep.
In,
In, fucking in. It's been helping my workouts so much. And I think that there's a really strong pipeline of like emo kids to like headbangers, whatever, people who listen to dubstep. And I get it now.
yeah,
I've been listening to hardcore dubstep and I'm like, oh shit, I really like this because it reminds me of like the heavy punk music that I also really like.
yeah.
So
I can't get stuff done. I realize like I have to like put my music on like that specific like EDM dubstep like harder,
yeah,
in order for me to just like make brain go fast.
yeah.
So I'm with you. Bring it in, bring it back.
Bring it back.
Um, but on also relevant was minimalism is a bore for me. I think it's boring at this
Hmm.
point.
Yeah.
Um, again, like I get wanting to have like maybe a clean aesthetic in your home because it's like nice to have company over or something and like it's easy to match new furniture if you have some neutrals and shit, but I'm
Yeah.
also like I want personality
Yeah.
because your minimalistic or grayish home right now tells me that you're fucking boring.
Yeah. Like Kim Kardashian's. I'm
And
like,
that's even like more brutalist, which is just
it
weird. Like
is.
imagine being a kid growing up in
I
that.
was just thinking that. I was like, if you grow up in essentially what looks like the padded walls of an insane asylum, like
Well,
if
some people get toys like that for their kids, and it's like learning blocks and stuff, and they're all gray and beige
I
colored.
just saw someone on TikTok, Hannah. She calls herself a beige mom. She bought her toddler son a like little 3 foot basketball hoop, like one of the plastic, probably like Fisher Price ones for Christmas, and spray painted it grayish.
Oh my God.
So this kid is in a grayish home, a grayish living room with his new toy that is now painted grayish and a basketball that is grayish. And I'm like, I
This,
want to fast forward 25 years when we find out the psychological effects on these kids
we
who were
already know the way that toys are designed to have color and
yeah,
everything is for your child's developmental growth in their head
yeah,
so that they can identify colors, they can,
in contrast.
yeah, and they understand how things work. And like, kids are being I'm like this is literally natural selection is happening, but it's not because the kid's doing something, it's the parent. So the parent is putting natural selection on their kid right now. Their bloodline's going to like change drastically because of this. I'm
Yeah,
betting it.
it makes
Anyway,
me really sad.
it's really fucked up. But yeah, you like walk in a home. I mean, we've babysat before.
Yeah,
That's what they tell you as a young female to like your first job should be babysitting. Cool. But like, toys are supposed to be everywhere. Like there's supposed to be
yeah,
random shit. It's not supposed to look good when you have kids.
yeah. Speaking of babysitting, I had to run an errand the other day
Uh-oh.
that you made fun of me for, and I
Oh.
again gonna share with the class. But babysitting reminded me of it because one of my errands was having to go to the bank. I had to go deposit a check, and I'm standing in line in like a physical bank, and I get up to the window, and he goes, do you have your debit card? And I just look at him and I'm like, no. Like, I genuinely don't know where my debit card is. I think it is directly to my left in my bedside table. However, I don't use it. I don't keep it on me because if I were to lose my wallet, then someone's going to drain my bank account. Like, it's just I don't keep that thing on me.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, okay, well, do you have your ID? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And he was like, okay, that works. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I don't think I've been to a bank since I was depositing babysitting cash in like high school, maybe. I was like, it has
Also, why
been
didn't he ask for
a
your
minute.
bank account number?
I don't know. It was an interesting experience, but the reason everyone Hannah was making fun of me for this errand is because it sounded like I was living in the 1920s.
You
The
were
list of things I had to do. I had to go to the bank,
physically.
um, physically. My next, not spiritually. Spiritually, I am never at the bank.
Mentally, I'm at the bank.
Spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, I'm never at the bank. Money is not real, and I don't treat it as so. Um, I had to go to physically to a bank. I had to go to my cobbler because I had two broken purses that I have been just pushing on the back burner. My cobbler now has a fucking 4-month waiting list. So also, can we come up with a better name?
I have a my cobbler has a wig.
Can we come up with a better name for a shoe repairman than a cobbler?
Is it a
I
peach cobbler?
Yeah, I feel like it's just so archaic and old timey to say cobbler. Like, oh, I gotta go to the cobbler. Like
My cobbler has a 4-month waiting list.
like I should have said all of this in a transatlantic accent.
I
Um,
went to the bank and then I had to go to the cobbler to drop off my purses.
yeah, and then I had to walk down the street and get film developed from an actual film camera.
Yeah.
And which I know has like been a trendy thing that people are doing now anyway. It's like how vinyls came back. But these three errands were like the most ridiculously not up to par with 2024 things that I could have possibly done. Like, I'm not going to an Apple store. I'm not going to some overpriced workout class. I'm going to the cobbler. And cobbler's in,
Old timey errand runs in.
in. Good times.
Fucking great. Calling people cowards. I want more of that in
Oh,
2024.
yeah, I've got a few.
Yeah.
Speaking of cowards, the guy that I absolutely dragged on last week's episode, at the end, if you haven't listened, I had a story about someone who really wronged me, and I just aired all of that dirty laundry publicly on the internet. He's out, and alternatively, our friend is in place of that. Not that they ever really were interchangeable, but I just needed, again, as I mentioned, that parallel structure. So if we're one
Replacing shit people with the people that bring you joy and pour back into
in,
your cup and you pour into their cup. Yeah. Replacing those people, that's in.
yeah,
Move them out of the
think
pyramid.
out the toxic,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Similar to that,
slay.
bore in 2024, being fumbled. I'm
Oh,
tired of being fumbled. We're not
yeah.
we're not
Oh,
dealing with that anymore. I'm
praise
over
to
it.
the fucking choir.
The second you like butter hands like boop, 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 boop,
Oh,
the ball in the air,
not sure.
I'm the ball. The second you
Yeah.
boop, 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 me in the air, I'm like, okay, skitter
Backseat,
scatter, bye.
backseat, consider it taken.
Yeah, I'm just
Consider it taken. Actually,
scurrying
um,
away.
actually, consider me skateboarding, holding onto a rope behind the car that you're driving. That is the level of effort I will be putting in when a fumble occurs.
Yeah, I'm actually calling an Uber. I'm out of the car.
The North Sea has been slaying lately, so
Literally, and cruises are so out.
can I gaslight myself for a second? Fucking
Yeah.
saying slay out. Someone has to stop me. Speaking of being like Pavloved, I need to start giving myself a paper cut every time I say it.
I'm gonna start making a noise that you hate whenever you say it now.
I don't think that's enough. I
Hmm.
really don't think it's enough. Also, speaking
Darn.
of paper cuts, I said that burn scars are in.
Scars are
Not
in. Scars tell a story.
Nah, you specifically burn scars for me.
Oh, okay. For
And
you, but
yeah, because so I don't know if anyone's watching this, but my forearm
no one's watching us. Let's be
has
real.
become a constellation of burn scars, and it's only there. So I've come up with this working theory, and we can expand on this going forward, that someone has a voodoo doll of me that is just one arm in a fireplace because I keep getting burns on this arm in the same place, and it looks so weird.
They're like laying you near a candle and accidentally like bumping you into it.
Yes, exactly. So burn scars are in and unexplained bruises are out, which I also get a lot of, but I'm trying to minimize that this year in
We're
2024.
owning our scars in 2024.
Yeah.
Um, I would like to say that also on the vein of minimalism being out, unapologetic accessorizing is in. If
Love.
I want to wear big earrings and a necklace because I
Yeah.
like them, I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah. I always feel like rules like that are so subjective anyway. They're like, oh,
Hmm.
well, if you're wearing a boat neck top, then you should wear a choker length neck. And I'm like, I don't, okay, maybe.
What if I just put stuff on that I like, and if I think it looks good, then I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
agree.
people can suck my dick over it. Like, I don't know.
Yes, they can, Hannah. Good
And I hope they
energy.
do. Anyway, unapologetic accessorizer.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, words of affirmation. More of that in 2024.
I Yes, I agree. I have realized that I am more of a words of affirmation person than I thought. Like,
Hmm.
it's not enough for you to really like show me and show up for me and like be a touchy feely or whatever. If you're not sitting in front of me being like, I like and appreciate you as a person, I cannot convince myself that it's true.
Correct. And I realized that I don't say words of affirmation enough, even though I think them and feel them a lot. And I also realized that I'm very uncomfortable receiving words of affirmation.
Yeah.
So those are things I want to work on in 2024.
I feel like
Um,
I've been giving more words of affirmation in an effort to receive them, and
mhm.
it's not working.
Yeah, it's like I realized that like, I grew up in a household where it's like it's not like people weren't like I'm proud of you, I love you, whatever, but it's just
Yeah,
like some things were just like assumed, I think.
right.
It's like, okay, you did well, like good job, but then it's
Yeah,
like sometimes you realize as an adult like it would have been nice to hear it more often or something. My sister and I talk
totally.
about it. So it's just working on that in 2024 and getting those. Similarly, physical touch as your love language is a fucking bore.
Interesting.
Either like I know that physical touch can be a love language and it can show people affection in certain ways, but I
Mhm,
think there's a certain fact of people that applies to, and I think
mhm.
there are another camp of people that view physical touch as like I want to be like heavy PDA the whole time, and I want to be
Heavy
like,
PDA has never been in
yeah, exactly.
and
And I think some
will
people
never
feel
come
like
back.
physical touch is like, like you have to be like holding my hand in public at all
My
times.
line of PDA has always been cut at the fact that it shouldn't be a question that we're together, but I don't want to make people uncomfortable. Like, put your hand on the small of my back, like that type of like if we're walking between one place and another, sure, I'll hold your hand, but I like do not keep your hand on my knee at dinner. Absolute like things like that. I'm just like the rubbing, like no.
Yeah, I would get
Go
uncomfortable.
home.
Yeah.
It's like I'm if it makes you like happy, then I'm happy for you. But sometimes when it's like so much and you're at a bar and you're just seeing this couple be like so obsessed with each other, I'm like, do you not care about how uncomfortable you're making everyone else?
Well, and I think there's also like some people are like touch starved. Like for me, living alone, and
Yeah.
then you like start to get like more physical touch in your life from someone, you're
Yeah.
like, wow, that's really nice. But then you realize it's like just because I haven't had it in a while doesn't mean I suddenly like
Need it
have physical touch as
constantly.
a love language. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm also like, if you don't have it a lot, it's a different adjustment. That doesn't necessarily make it a love language.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's often like just misconstrued. And so I just think it's a little icky when people say like their number one love language is like physical touch.
Yeah. Fair. Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's also
Um,
I feel like there are different you receive and give, like, your love language differently. Like, I feel like mine have changed in the last year, so, like, maybe I'm due to retake the test.
yeah,
But, like, I honestly might think that physical touch is my give. Like, if I'm touchy-feely with you, like, you should know that that probably means I'm obsessed with you
for
or
sure.
attracted to you because I hate receiving it. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to initiate, I have to open that door, so it's, like, different in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, love languages in general, I feel like can kind of be on the out. I feel like it's just
Yeah.
it was helpful for us to start a communication as a
Mhm.
society. But I think there's just so much more to
You wanna
dating
know
and
what I
that
think can
stuff.
replace it?
What?
Understanding your attachment style.
True.
Like, we're moving on from knowing what your love language is and being able to communicate that to your partner. We're moving on from that, and we're understanding our attachment styles. And if we're anxious or avoidant fearful or any of them, figure it out because it is so helpful in your personal growth in a relationship.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I think it's great. Um, my last sort of things for my list here are um I want to say that doing a bit is kind of boring
I agree with that.
because now we're in 2024, we're putting on a show.
Mhm.
We're doing a
Theatric
facade, we're putting on a show. We have
theatrics in.
mhm.
Okay.
We're doing a whole shebang. Like it's not just a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
We're literally like I have practiced, I've rehearsed, we have tech,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
have we have people in
Yeah.
the pit playing music.
We have a
We have a
costume.
set.
We have a dress rehearsal.
Yeah. We Tech Week was great. We're ready to open, you know?
Love.
Like we're going full throttle.
Yeah. Tech queen. Oh, these words are coming back to me. Yeah, I agree with that. I love that.
Yeah. I just like
And
I'm doing a bit. It's a bit. No, it's like literally a part of me.
okay, I have another one I'd like to add as like like part A to that. Being a bore, doing things for the plot.
Yeah, just do it,
Just
Mikey.
just do it, but also stop using it as an excuse to be a chaotic disaster.
It's like when people said YOLO and did the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, I'm like doing it for the plot is fine if you're like looking to have that character growth, but when people really make fucked up decisions that are like, I mean, look, we all self-deprecate, whatever.
Yeah, we're all
Just
gonna
like
have
not good
our
for
ins
us.
and outs of toxicity for
But
sure.
being like, oh, I'm gonna contact my abusive ex because I'm like want to get laid tonight for the plot. I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna need 5 more years of therapy after, but sure. Like, let's consider maybe the long term a little bit harder than just the funny story you're gonna tell at brunch with the girls on Saturday morning.
Yeah, Susan, you're not doing it for the plot. You just don't have any self-control.
Yeah, also, I'm like, can
Like,
we
I'm
get
sorry.
a bit
Like,
more
you just
self-aware?
literally, and you might be self-aware. It's just like you can't stop yourself from texting your ex Brian. Like, I don't know.
Speaking of Brian's, my one of my last couple ins and outs here is my in is Zach Bryan and Brianna Chicken Fry's relationship. Because they're so cute and obsessed with each other, and it seems really real on the internet, which I know it's
Oh,
like take it with a grain of salt. But on the flip side of that, the out is all of the romance media and rumors surrounding Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney because of their recent rom-com that came out. I'm so tired of seeing that
that's
content.
old news.
Care if they cheated on each other's like spouses, whatever. That was the wrong cheated on each
Yeah.
other. You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
tired of seeing that PR content. I think it's really icky and I'm over it. And lastly,
Sorry.
we
No, I have something on the same vein as that is I hate
okay.
when people like, especially because like red carpet season is upon us. People like they shared like a touch or a glance, and all of a sudden there's like
Yeah.
20,000 TikToks about like this one interaction. And it's like,
Yeah.
have you ever thought that they
Yeah.
just exchanged a glance because they're
Kylie
like,
Jenner telling Selena Gomez that she couldn't take a picture with Timothy Chalamet. I don't care. I don't.
yeah, or it's
There
someone
is
sitting in an interview.
probably something deeper going on. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Someone sitting in an interview on like Good Morning America and like co-stars happen to glance across their other co-stars and make eye contact and
Yeah.
smile. You make eye contact with somebody, what are you gonna do? I'm either making a face or I'm
Deadpan.
smiling. Yeah.
Absolute
No
deadpan,
way.
yeah.
Sorry.
In
Continue.
ordering pizza.
Ah, yeah.
Pizza is having a resurgence in my life. I don't know if we talked about this on the last episode, but I can't stop thinking about it. It's on my brain constantly, and I want it constantly.
Hmm.
Out is Lay Dip, which is a DC restaurant.
I've never been.
I'm sorry, Han. Well, I guess we'll have to wait till 2025.
No, it's
Um,
okay. It can be out. I
Lay
haven't
Dip
gone
is
in
a
7 years. I think I can probably go another.
Yeah, Lay Dip is a poor excuse for a French restaurant in DC. It is
Yeah.
extremely overrated. It's historically been very facey, like politicians,
It's one of those like tourist trap restaurants.
Instagram. Yeah, very touristy. And I just am tired of it. I think the only acceptable time to go to Lay Dip is when it is spontaneous, unplanned, and you pop in on like a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. You get a late lunch and a cappuccino and you leave. Like,
Ooh,
I,
a cappuccino afternoon.
well, it's French, not Italian, so it's fine. Yeah, I also have That Girl on my out list.
What's
It's
that,
like the
girl?
same with like the clean aesthetic. Like,
Oh,
oh, That Girl, like she has on her matching workout set that probably costs $400, and she has like the whole aesthetic iPhone setup, and it's just like be whoever the fuck you want.
those
You
girls who are
all
like,
your
get
eyebrows.
ready with me to work from home, and they
Oh,
like
what
have
what do you mean? What are you
beige
saying?
highlighters,
Beige?
beige
Yeah. Well,
highlighters.
that's literally the opposite of what a highlighter is. How do you
How are
highlight
you
in
calling
beige?
attention to yourself if it's all beige?
Yeah. And the get ready with me to work from home, I'm like, what are you doing? And then they just like write in their planners.
Clean off my iPad screen, right
Yeah.
in my planner. Go on my online calendar and put everything I put in my planner.
And then
Have
they're done.
have the interesting shaped ice in my aesthetic
Yes.
glass with the glass
The
straw.
ice.
And then I also have my Stanley tumbler.
Hey, listen,
I'm just saying,
I do like my Stanley,
I'm
but
a Tervis girl.
fair enough. I need a lid. I'm too clumsy. Okay, I think that concludes our ins and outs list basically. Like there were a lot and it did take up essentially the whole episode, but I think it was really
Yeah,
important to talk about all of these things.
I agree. What else would we like to talk about to close out?
Something that did strike my brain as I was running my archaic errand is how I feel like this is a common experience when you're going to a place that you've never been before. So, for example, on that errand, I was going into a bank branch that I had never been to, and I was going to a film store, like camera store, that I had never been to. And of course, like our GPS and our modern maps are all incredible. But as I'm walking around DC, I'm still like, where's the door? Is it going to be the right address? Is the Google listing going to be updated, or did this branch close in COVID and it's not like there are just all of these questions that kind of give you anxiety as you're going to a place that you've never been. It's like how we turn the radio down when we're trying to find parking. It's like, it's just, I don't know. There's something about it. Delivery drivers have to do that every day. Like, that is some level of bravery that I will never achieve.
Yeah.
I just thought about it and I was like, wow, they are really our modern day heroes. And I love how some people like put the little carts out with treats and Gatorades and whatever, especially during the holiday season. But I was just walking around DC seeing all these delivery drivers like hop out and like have to press a call button and be like, yeah, like I'm here for a delivery. I literally saw this happen in by that one speakeasy, the mirror.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like, I'm here with UPS. And I was like, oh, you must be so confused. Like, that sucks.
It's behind a mirror. But like
Yeah.
also that's the city where you have so many doors and options. You're like, I don't fucking know. What about
Hmm.
out in the like more rural area where you're like, I have to go on this mountainous back road and then on this
Yeah.
like not paved road to get to a driveway that's
Yeah.
2 miles long?
I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I, I mean, hats off to them. They are
That's what I'm
really
saying. Hats off to
God's
delivery
strongest
drivers.
soldiers, bravest soldiers, God's
Yeah.
favorite.
I always try to thank them when I see them in our package room here. I'm like, thank you, because you're so much more
Yeah.
important to me. And it was probably really confusing that my package room in this building is on the second floor and you have to put in a code to get in. And then it's like this whole technological system that barely
Yeah. And
where
buildings be
residents
changing their
go.
shit all the time too. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
one day you give it to the concierge and the next day you have to James Bond into a room.
More love for delivery drivers. Delivery drivers are in 2024. I'm sending them all of my love. Let's end on talking about some of our resolutions and then
I didn't make any.
not a single one. My only one is waking up early, and I have only done it twice this week.
Amazing.
I feel like resolutions are one of those things that I have to remind myself not to be so hard about. Like
Hmm.
this week was my first full week back at work, and I woke up early 2 of the days. That's more than I did last year. So I'm chalking it up to a dub.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I think that's good too. I mean, that's something that like I've always struggled with like goal setting and then
Yeah.
as part of being, in corporate America and teaching people like shit, you have to remind folks that like progress, it's not linear. It's gonna
Yeah.
look like a hot fucking mess. And it's
Totally.
like people always like, oh, you should improve a little bit every day. That's not realistic. That's not doable. That's not possible. There are gonna be days where you aren't improving and you're gonna like forget something or you're gonna we'll call it a relapse. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like you'll kind of go backwards, 2 steps forward, 1 step
Yeah.
back, but then
If
you're gonna take
Wednesday
another
night
2 steps.
I was out later than I expected, I'm not gonna fucking wake up at 7 and go to the gym. I'm
Yeah.
not, and that's okay because if I did still do that, then I would set myself up for failure on Thursday night when I'm so tired from getting fucking 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta it's all a little song and dance that we do to try to be better
Exactly.
people.
As long as the trend is upward in the positive of what you
Yeah.
want it to be, that's the
Then
sign that you're
consider your
showing
new year
progress.
resolved.
Correct.
Resoluted. You did it.
Sorry, guys, if it smells, I had to resolute. I resoluted. Ooh, sorry.
This was fun. I hope everyone can have some patience with us as we navigate the remote podcast lifestyle going forward. If
Mm,
you have any ideas or recommendations for us, feel free to drop us a line.
yeah, and hopefully the sound is okay, but I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. It'll be a test.
And everybody go watch Saltburn if you haven't, so we can talk about it next week.
Oh, yes, please. Just maybe
Amazing.
calm your stomach before going into it.
Oh, I don't think you need to, but that was just me.
It made me nauseous personally, so
I laughed a lot. We'll talk about it.
we'll chat. We'll chat about it next week. All right, bye, stupid idiots.
Bye.
Bye.